What is up, YouTube? M40. We're going to be smashing through a couple of deck profiles today that I've had sitting on my desk coming off of the weekend. I was away at Bushiroad, and my desk just decided to pile up with interesting things. So the first list we're going to be looking at is the top 8 Montreal Madolche list. Now, the first thing I want to say here is with everything that's been going on in the format between the YCS and whatnot, seeing Madolche kind of top a regional is very refreshing. And I definitely always make the note and talk about that regional level events are always just, they're a different kind of competition. They're like better than locals, but not like YCS level. They're that nice little intermediate level. You can kind of go and mess around with crazy ideas. Well, it's honestly what we got here. I saw this originally come across another build, and I was like, huh, we're playing Heralds in the deck, and I'm just like, oh, why are we doing this? Like, more hand traps seems bad in the deck. Well, it's not that bad. Like, having more hand traps available to you isn't bad at all. So this is basically going second Madolche with like super heavy amounts of hand traps. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, essential hand traps stalling the format to make sure that we're able to play the game. One copy of DD Crow, just a very well-rounded hand trap in general, giving us the ability to also remove key pieces from our opponent's combo is pretty good. Triple copies of Effective Veiler, absolutely. One copy of Ghost Bell in the Haunted Mansion. This card is gaining a lot of popularity right now as a straight one-of. We have 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. I honestly think that this and Effect Veiler are 2 of the most underrated cards in the format right now, just because of what these cards actually can do and devastate deck setup and things like that. And also just being able to go, oh, pop, we did it. We have the 1 copy of the Herald of the Greenlight, just 1 spell negator. I understand that you don't want really, maybe you do want more. No, monsters are the best thing. We have the triple copies of Herald of the Orange Light. This is by far the best one in the deck. Also probably the cheapest OTS Ultimate available to the secondary market. We have triple copies of Madolche Angeli. I mean, it's a fairy. It's also our Lone Fire. Like, we did it. We have the 2 copies of Hoot Cake, generic extender. I know builds are between 2 and 1 of this. We've essentially just gotten rid of ever seeing 3 of this card ever again in the format. Then we have triple copies of Madolche Mageline on Core Summon Search. Outside of that, I mean, it's her. We have the 2 copies of Messengelato. This just searches for our one-ofs to set up so that we're able to play the game. We have triple copies of Puting Susior. This card is by far nuts, by the way. This is one of the best cards that they could have given to Madolche, like, and it works. And then we just have the 1 copy of Thine Pudding Cess. Nothing too special about this. And we have the triple copies of Called by the Grave, because getting hand trapped is a big suck. We have 1 Chateau and 1 Ticket. I've talked about in other builds that playing more than 1 of these each definitely kind of ran into issues, and I think that 1 of each is perfectly fine. We have 1 Desires and 1 Extravagance. This man loved his one-ofs, by the way. 2 Extravagance and triple copies of Evenly Matched, wrapping up this main deck. Obviously going second worked out really well here. So we have triple copies of Madolche Fresh to Start here, triple copies of the Glass Fully. We have triple copies of Tiara Misu and triple copies of the Shock Lala Mode. Then we have 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, 1 Violet Chimera, and the 1 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Huh. Interesting. And then this probably should have been a Mud Dragon, in my opinion. We have the triple copies of Artifact Lancia. We have triple copies of Prankatops, 1 more copy of Dine Hoot Hoot. Remember, don't pollute. Then we have triple copies of Super Poly, 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and triple copies of Red Rebuto, wrapping up this list. Probably one of the more interesting Madolche lists I've seen coming out of present times for the format. Just the little things, I guess. Right, guys? Moving on along. There's a Trickstar list that went X3 at the YCS. I gotta drink some water for this because this is hot. You guys remember when Light Stage down here? Remember when this card went to 1? Yeah, we had to find other ways to abuse things. So this is Trickstar Light Arena. So if you link summon a Trickstar monster, you can target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard that was used as material and special summon it in defense mode, but negate its effects. You can only use the effect of Trickstar Light Arena once per turn. And once per turn, you can target 1 set card in your opponent's spell and trap card zone. While this card is on the field, that set card cannot be activated until the end phase, and your opponent must activate it during the end phase or else return it to the hand. Hey, this gives us exactly what we wanted off of Light Stage, right? Well, this is basically a slower version of what we were doing last format, but, you know, Light Stage had to go to 1. Sad day. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Droll and Lockbird. It just wouldn't be a Trickstar deck unless I could nuke my opponent's entire hand and laugh at them as, you know, they get hand looped and are unable to play the game. We have 2 copies of Eater of Millions, triple copies of Phantasmy Boy, 2 copies of Ghost Bell and the Haunted Mansion, 2 copies of Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentine Sky Slasher. We have 1 Phantom Sky Blaster, triple Candina, and 1 Coralbine, along with 2 copies of Licorice. Basically, now that Light Stage has been limited, you basically, I don't know, it's interesting, because we no longer have to play Lilybell, because she's not as good anymore. And obviously, like, Licorice is still good, but, like, really seeing more copies of her is pretty much a bad thing, I guess, now. We have 2 Instant Fusion, triple Desires, 1 Scapegoat, and triple Super Polymerization. I love the fact that we're just using Super Poly to break boards now. 1 Terraforming, 1 Light Arena, and the 1 Light Stage. We have triple Infinite Impermanence and triple copies of Trickstar Reincarnation. Still hand loops, by the way. Oh well. Down in the extra deck, we have 1 Holy Angel, 1 little Trickstar Bloom. We have 1 copy of Security Dragon, 1 Link Karibo, 1 copy of Link Spider, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Boral Sword, 1 copy of the Constellar Pleiades, 1,000 Eyes Restrict, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Violet Chimera, 1 copy of Dragostopalia, 1 Panzer Dragon, and the 1 copy of the Mud Dragon. The side deck here, we have 2 Lancia and 1 Artifact Scythe, just standard Sanctum targets. We have 2 copies of Prankatops, triple Sanctum. This card is still very good. We're just kind of in a format right now that it's not that game-breaking. If you actually see it, I mean, you'll win games because of it, but outside of that, like, it honestly depends. Then we have triple Evenly Matched, because going second's still really good. Triple Heavy Storm Duster, and 1 Trap Trick in the side deck, wrapping up this list. Going X3 is not a bad thing, honestly. I don't know. I'm just happy to see the Trickstars are still able to do something. And the last deck we're going to be looking at today is the Infernoid St. Louis list, for those of you that have been asking, hey Robbie, did you get it? I got this actually sent in by the duelist that ended up playing the deck, and it's pretty interesting. Some of his choices for this definitely caught me off guard, honestly. I think they're going to catch a lot of you guys off guard, too. Lava Golem's in the main deck, by the way. So, this is a much different take on Infernoids, honestly, than I think we've seen in terms of, like, tech development and things like that. So, we have the 1 copy of the Aharima, the Wicked Warden, just standard discard, go search for your Lair of Darkness. We have the 2 copies of the Infernoid Antra, of course. 1 copy of Atondel, triple copies of Dankatron, still being able to, you know, peel off and set up and do what you want to do with this off of your Void Feast is so good. We have the 2 copies of Deviati, of course. We're never playing more than 2 of this. 1 copy of Harmodic, 1 copy of Anaku, 1 copy of Petruli, 2 copies of Seismites, 1 copy of the Sijet, and then we have the triple copies of Lava Golem along with triple Gamma and 1 Driver. You notice that we're not really bulking down so much or really like feeling the burn with some of these ratios. I don't know, some of this monster lineup is interesting. Then we have the triple copies of Lair of Darkness, triple copies of Monster Gate. So I guess seeing his ratios the way they are, you want to abuse Monster Gate. Just being able to tribute and then mill through the deck literally to your targets is probably the best thing that we could have gotten on this list. And even though reasoning is still limited, the thing with reasoning is free. Monster Gate, you at least have to establish a monster to do your thing. Triple copies of Extravagance, because, I mean, we do care about the extra deck, but not really. We have the 1 copy of Reasoning, because it's still one of the best mill/summon cards in the deck. 1 Terraforming, triple copies of Twin Twister, triple copies of Void Imagination, triple copies of Vanishment, and then 1 copy of Void Feast. Obviously, this deck wants Imagination Station more than anything. Extra deck here, we have the 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Phoenix, 2 Hida, 2 copies of Equamax, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Omega, of course, triple Tiara, and triple copies of Ints. The side deck here, we have triple copies of Called by the Grave, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 2 copies of the Ballista Squad. So you can tribute 1 monster and target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. Oh, hello. That's pretty cute. I actually really like that little tech choice. We have 1 Imperial Order, 1 Metaverse, triple copies of Typhoon, and 2 copies of Void Feast, wrapping up this deck? Well, it's Infernoids, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really have anything else to really say about it. Like, it looks pretty solid in my opinion. So guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these decks. And, well, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.
The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.